The Hall of Floating Shadows. I ran through a corridor where shadows floated independently, forming grotesque shapes that stretched and split. The floor pulsed beneath me with every heartbeat, and the walls bent unpredictably. Whispers filled my mind, overlapping into a deafening chorus, forcing me forward into an endless nightmare that consumed space and time alike. The further I went, the more the shadows danced and writhed, taking on forms both alien and familiar. Some resembled mythical creatures from ancient lore, while others seemed like distorted versions of myself, mocking my progress with twisted smiles. Their silent screams echoing in my head, driving me deeper into the abyss. Then, as suddenly as it began, the nightmare ended. The whispering stopped, and the shadows dissipated, leaving me in total darkness. I stood there for a moment, catching my breath, trying to piece together where I was and how I got there. But it was no use. The hall had stripped away all sense of time and place. I could remember nothing. As I turned to leave, a single word floated into my consciousness. Remember. It echoed around me, bouncing off unseen walls until it took on a life of its own. The word grew larger, consuming my vision, and I found myself falling, tumbling through an endless void. When I finally landed, I was back in the corridor, but it was different now. The shadows were gone, replaced by an oppressive silence that pressed down on me like a physical force. The whispers had ceased their haunting melody, leaving behind a ringing silence that amplified the beating of my heart. I walked slowly, hesitantly, as if returning to a place I knew but had never seen before. Each step echoed in the vast emptiness, amplifying my growing dread. Then I saw it, a faint glimmer in the distance, a pinpoint of light piercing the oppressive darkness. Hope surged through me, propelling me forward. As I approached the light, I felt a sudden shift, a sensation of falling endlessly through a black hole of nothingness. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer in the silent hall. Instead, I found myself standing at the entrance of a cave, the faint glow of dawn seeping through the cracks in the rocks above. The nightmare had ended, or perhaps it had only just begun. With the memory of the whispering shadows still fresh in my mind, I knew I couldn't stay here. Turning from the cave, I walked away from the oppressive darkness, each step echoing the silent threat of the Hall of Floating Shadows.